Welcome to How to Retire on Time, a show that answers your questions about, well, all things retirement, including income, taxes, Social Security, healthcare, and more. This show is an extension of the book, How to Retire on Time, which you can grab today on Amazon or by going to www.howtoretireontime.com. My name is Mike Decker. I'm the author of the book, How to Retire on Time, but I'm also a licensed financial advisor, insurance agent, and tax professional, which means when it comes to financial topics, we can pretty much discuss whatever's on your mind. Now, that said, please remember this is just a show. Everything you hear should be considered informational, as in not financial advice. With me in the studio today is my esteemed colleague, Mr. David Franson. David, how you doing today?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Great.
This is going to be a good show. And now, just for the newcomers, this is how the show works. David will be reading your questions, and I will do my best to answer them. You can send your questions in by either texting them to 913-363-1234, that's 913-363-1234, or email them to heymike@howtoretireontime.com. Let's begin.
Hey, Mike, I am 50 years old. I want to retire at 65, and almost all of my savings are in my 401k. Is there anything I can do to help prepare for retirement?
All right, so yeah, the 401k is a bit of a debacle because as long as you're with your employer and you are 59 and a half or younger, you really can't move it.
Yeah.
It's kind of stuck, right? If you switch jobs, you lose your job, you switch jobs, you don't have to roll a 401k into another 401k. You can roll it into a traditional IRA and then manage it yourself or have a professional manage it for you. But that's one of the few things that's like, okay, well, there's some limitations here that need to be addressed. And I say that because who knows what the future has? Maybe you are looking for a new job. Maybe you're just tired of your current employer. Maybe you're not. But if you're working with a current employer and you want help, then the conversation really shapes into how much are you putting into your pre-tax of your 401k? How much are you putting into your after-tax part of your 401k if that's available to you? So that's basically the IRA and the Roth of a 401k. And then how are you allocated? People often defer to the target retirement date, but you got to look at the whole picture here. What's in your 401k? What's outside your 401k? What risk are you okay with? I just don't know if many times people are utilizing the resources to really dive into how should my 401k be allocated. So that's the first one. Is there's a lot of options there that are available to you within your 401k on how to optimize it. But then here's the other thing that I think is often missed. If you have, and all people have this, if you have 3 tax buckets, you've got your qualified pre-tax, think of it like a traditional IRA. So it grows without capital gains issues, right? It's a qualified account. When you take a distribution out of it, you pay the tax at that point. So
because you haven't paid the taxes yet. It's
pre-tax,
yeah.
but it grows without the capital gains issues.
Okay.
So that's one bucket. Then you've got the after-tax qualified account. That's like your Roth. So it grows tax-free. There's no capital gains issue. But then when you take it out, it's also tax-free. So it's nice, right? You've already paid the taxes as it went in there. And then you have your non-qualified account. You've already paid taxes on it, but whenever you sell a position, you're going to pay taxes again. There's no qualification of a retirement benefit. Those are the 3 tax buckets. So in a 401k, let's say that you change jobs and now you're considering what you want to do with it. Let's say you roll it over into an IRA and now you've got this IRA and you're going to grow. Great. Should you just be directionless, forget, go rudderless and just let it grow? Whatever happens, figure it out later. Or could you be proactive with it?
Yeah.
If you wanted to be proactive with it, here's what I think it would look like. I would rather have, and David, tell me if you're different.
Okay.
I would rather have the most amount of money possible in my after-tax qualified account, AKA the Roth.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because then once you take that distribution, you get that. There's no tax.
There's no tax, gross tax-free. And most people seem to agree with me on this.
Yeah.
Okay. No, you can't take it out. There's limitations to it. You can't take it out, after a certain amount of period of time. So, 5 years. I mean, even that's even complicated too with conversions and contributions and all of that. But basically, let's assume that it's simple for now.
Okay.
So would you rather have that or non-qualified? Non-qualified, I don't like. trying to grow aggressively a non-qualified account has tax issues. Whether it's long-term or short-term capital gains, there are tax issues. So I'd rather do the after-tax qualified account, the Roth.
Yeah.
But funding a Roth has limitations. You can only take so much of your non-qualified account, like your brokerage account, and contribute to a Roth. So you can only take so much from your non-qualified account and contribute to your Roth each year. It's limited. They did that on purpose.
Yeah, I see what they're doing there.
But you can take, even before 59 and a half, your pre-tax qualified account and move as much as you want into your after-tax account. You just need to pay the taxes out of your own pocket.
Okay.
So let me say all that a little bit differently. If you have 100,000, and I'll use really simple numbers here. Let's say you have 100,000 in a traditional IRA, you've got 100,000 in Roth, and you have 100,000 in non-qualified. So 100,000 in all three of the buckets.
Okay.
Why wouldn't you take, let's say, 20,000, 50,000, a certain amount, move 100% of it over to the Roth, so pre-tax qualified to after-tax qualified,
Okay.
and then just pay out of your non-qualified a tax-inefficient growth bucket and just pay the taxes out of that.
Sure.
You've gotten more money into the after-tax qualified account, the Roth, for more growth potential because it's not hindered by capital gains. So it grows tax-free. It distributes tax-free. There was no issue from a funding standpoint because it went from qualified to qualified.
Okay.
There are so much you can do for everyone that's 59 and a half and younger. There's so much you can do from tax planning with your 401k once you switch jobs, as long as you don't roll it over into another 401k. And these are just the things that you don't think about because it's like, well, I'm just going to save and figure it out later. Well, if you do this while you're working, whether you're 30, 40, 50 years old, and you're more proactive with the tax planning, it saves a huge amount of heartache, a huge amount of tax potential problems when you retire. Too many people are retiring today with almost all of their assets in pre-tax accounts. And had they understand just the strategy that I explained right now, it could have saved them a lot of heartache. So these are the things. You're 50 years old. You want to retire at 65. You've got, 15 years. There's a chance that you might switch jobs at that point. When you switch jobs, consider your options. Consider the tax planning options that are available to you. Even in the 401k, you can do conversions in there. Some people will let you do that. I mean, there are just options there. But yeah, the tax planning is important. Don't default to just putting everything into your 401k, get the match, and then don't think about it. These things can make a huge difference. And if you want some help with that, if you want to understand what your options are, if you want to understand what you could be doing with your 401k or traditional IRA or really anything as you prepare for retirement, whether you're 30, 40, 50 years old, even if your retirement's 10 years or more, and there's a lot of people in that category.
Mm-hmm.
Request your wealth analysis. Just go to www.yourwealthanalysis.com or text analysis to 913-363-1234. That's keyword analysis to 913-363-1234 or www.yourwealthanalysis.com. Now, that's all the time we have for today. If you want more tips about retirement, income, taxes, Social Security, healthcare, and more, make sure you subscribe to this show wherever you get your podcasts. Just search for How to Retire on Time. Also, you can catch this show via our 24/7 digital broadcast by going to www.retireontimeradio.com. You can stream various episodes on your phone while you're on the go, in the car, or wherever you are on a run. Just go to www.retireontimeradio.com. From everyone here at Kedrick Studios, thank you for spending your time, your most precious asset, with us today.